as we grow in our spiritual journey and we begin to mature and we begin to listen to the language of the universe, we begin to respond to it, we begin to find that flow, then we learn things that encourage that flow, we learn things that propel us in that flow, and we also learn the things that disrupt that flow. We learn the things, we begin to recognize when we're being taken off that path, when we're being moved out of our divine flow and that place of peace. We begin to recognize what feeds that and what brings friction to that and hinders that. We learn those things. And once we learn those things, it is up to us to honor that knowledge. So no matter who it is or what it is, if it is a disruption to your flow, you must release it. You must disconnect yourself from it with grace and with love. But this really shows up with family members, with friends, with situations, places, people that we have become accustomed to, that we have developed a system and we've developed a habitual process with them, whatever it is, the way that we have conversated with them, the way that we have interacted with them up until this point. Now we're learning that hinders our flow. Now we're learning those same conversations or those same interactions in the same way bring a resistance and start to upset that flow that we are seeking. And that's really the ultimate desire of us all, is to find that perfect peace, to get into that place of universal flow and to enjoy the experience of life at its greatest level. Once we begin to tap into that, when we recognize this is a hindrance to me moving forward, we recognize this is a hindrance to me staying in this place of peace. I cannot have these type of conversations any longer. I cannot participate in these activities or these type of interactions at this level any longer and maintain my place of peace and maintain my flow. When you recognize that, it is your responsibility to honor that. With love and with grace, we must let our boundaries be established, our boundaries be known, and we must respect our boundaries first and foremost before anyone else will. And whether anyone else does or not, as long as we do, we are guarding and protecting ourselves, which is the most important aspect of life, of growth, of healing. We must protect ourselves, protect our peace, protect our place that we've gotten to. We fought and strove and really pushed to get to this place, and now that we're here, it is our responsibility to guard that with all diligence. The Bible tells us to guard your heart with all diligence, and heart in that passage is translated from the Greek word, which actually literally means the will and the intention. Guard the will, the intention, the mind. Your mind is actively engaged when you're in conversation. Your mind is actively engaged when you're interacting with someone and connecting with someone. Your will is a part of that. Your intention is connected with that interaction, and that has to be guarded. So you have to change the flow of your conversation with mother, grandmother, cousin, aunt, sister, friend. You have to change the nature of the conversation. If it makes things awkward, if it makes things uncomfortable, that's a process that you will have to go through. And there should be flow. There is the ability for there to be a smooth flow through that process. It is up to the other party to respect where you're going, to respect where you are, and to respect where you desire to be. If you find that that is a difficulty, then that relationship may need to shift and be altered in some way. But divine guidance will come to you every step of the way. But the first, most important thing is to learn what works for you and what doesn't, what feeds you and what doesn't, what moves you to your place that you desire to be, and what pulls you back from that place. And when you recognize that, then it's vital that you honor that. Whatever that means, however that changes your interactions and your connections, so be it, that you may continue to grow and evolve and experience the greatest expression of life possible, the abundant life. Namaste.